Bring that up. We'll get. Let's. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. This is the post-race press conference from the San Diego Supercross at Snapdragon Stadium. Congratulations to Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, and Justin Barshaw on your podium rides. And Eli, I'll start with you. You come into a new building. We've been on this property before, but a new building, which is always cool. No one's ever won here before, and I know we always ask you about these records and new things you're accomplishing, but another new one, a new stadium, and a new one for you. Congrats.
Yeah, it was a good first time here for us, and to be honest, I never had really good results at Petco either. I always struggled a little bit just on the tighter stadium and tighter floor there, I felt like. So I was excited to come here and get going, and it was nice to be on a good surface this weekend. Good racing surface. The dirt was nice. There was a couple of rocks here and there but I would say for the most part it was nice dirt, and yeah, it was another good one for us.
Had that extra week there last weekend. What was the program like? Did you just roll into the normal weeks? Did you do anything special because you had the off, try some different things, or was it pretty standard?
Honestly, we've just been chasing around practice tracks to ride out here in California. I've been based out here, and we've been going out to the high desert or Hemet, or honestly, that's it, and maybe one or two mud days in Corona, but feels like we've been practicing mud for 6 weeks now or so, so it's nice to be on a good surface.
Congratulations.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action. This question is for Cooper Webb. Cooper, you had the same result as you did at round one, second place, but you had a better start. I think you led a couple laps. Even though it's the same result, is it a better race tonight?
Yeah, they were both good, but yeah, tonight was good. Like you said, I got off the start, which was really key, especially tonight with the way the track developed, and was able to lead some laps, which was cool. And yeah, I mean, Eli was really riding good, and I tried to latch on, and felt like our pace was pretty strong. But yeah, made a few mistakes there in the middle, and the lappers at the end definitely helped me a little bit. It was pretty hectic with all that going on, but yeah, I think overall I'm really happy with how the season started and looking to push forward.
Nick Still, Moto Online. Justin, for you, take us through that heat race. We've seen some comments from Jason Anderson as well about some contact together. Just take us through that and just the heat race and into the night.
I think I want to answer this one. Yeah, it was good racing. It was that corner was one of those corners where if you left it open, it was going to happen. And yeah, unfortunately, actually, in the main event, that me and Chase came together there too. So it was one of those things. Yeah, it is what it is. Move on from it, and yeah, racing hard and passes were good. So yeah, it's all good. Not holding any grudges to it.
Jamie, Vital MX, Cooper, you led. Eli caught you fairly quick in the opening stages, but then didn't gap you significantly. Did it just take you a couple laps to get in the groove? Just to kind of talk about those first couple laps, how he caught you so quick.
Yeah, I felt like he had some really good spots there at the beginning. One of them being like that triple all the way to the dragon, the whoops to the finish. And I felt like I was really good on the tight stuff, but I felt like early he was just kind of opening everything up and really railing stuff nice. And so once I kind of latched onto that, it seemed to help a lot. And then as it got rougher, the tight lines that I was doing seemed to get better. So yeah, he's just on it at the beginning for sure, and I think that's really the first time in a long time that I've been able to ride behind him like that in a whole main event. So it was good to see what it takes to win, and yeah, like I said, learn from a few mistakes and keep battling along.
Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. For Justin, in terms of this season for you, you're on the new generation gas. How important is it to get a result like this early on, and just give us an update, I guess, on your progress with that bike? Yes, really good to get that podium second time out.
Oh, absolutely. For me, the new bike's been great. It's very easy to make small changes and adapt to the tracks. I did a big few weeks in California testing on it, and then went to Florida for a month and just rode the bike, got really comfortable with it, came to California, rode it again, and was right on pace at the test track, so that was good. Anaheim, that was a weird one, just tricky track. Kind of was off all day a little bit, just weird. And then main event, of course, get a hole shot and get in the lead, and struggled a little bit. And then obviously a couple mistakes took me out of that. So it was a bummer to miss round 2 with the weather, but it's good to come back here in the new Snapdragon Stadium and have a good result. There was a lot of pressure tonight, like just the battle in the race was intense. So that was good to come through that. But yeah, definitely the new bike's awesome, and it is a contract year for me, so definitely want to have a good season.
Jason Wygant from RacerX. For you, Eli, I want your perspective. Cooper did stay close through lappers and all that. What was the second half of the race like with him behind you?
Well, it was just, he just kept me honest the whole time. And I knew that was going to happen. And I was just like, man, a couple of those guys were just battling in the bowl turns, and there was nothing I could do. But that's just the way it goes when you're in front, man. To some tracks are a little bit easier to get around the lappers than others, and but it makes you stay on your toes, and you got to focus in that situation because he's right there. And like I said, that's just the way it goes. When the track funnels guys in certain ways into the main line.
Ryan Itson with Cycle News. My question's for Justin. You had pressure from Kenny like every lap, that whole race. Can you just talk about how you stayed calm and kept him behind you?
I didn't feel calm. It was an intense race. It was a really good race. I felt like I didn't breathe the whole race. I was super tight, just like I rode well, but not how I obviously would have liked to ride. I feel like Coop and Eli broke away, and I wasn't obviously able to close that gap. And then me and Kenny had a pretty good battle. He passed me, but then I struck back really quick and got around him. And I think they might have been jumping. Some of the guys might have been jumping through loops behind me, and I skimmed them the whole race, and it was super gnarly. So I probably should have maybe adapted to that a little better. But all in all, it was an intense race. The track was tricky, and we got into lappers quick, so it was like. Really, you had to be smart and precise, hit your marks, and Kenny raced me good, and we talked after the race, and he was stoked on it, and so was I. It was like fun when you have a really good race like that for the podium, last podium position.
Let's go to David Iser.
Thanks, Daniel. Iser, DMXS. Eli, the one consolation that your competition usually gets is a slow start to Supercross. Looking at you ride, and you put that bike anywhere you want. Is this as close to perfect as you can be with your bike, your fitness, and where you are in the season right now?
Yeah, in the sense of not chasing the the bike setting for round 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean we're not there yet, but normally I'm chasing my tail after round 1, and that has not been the case at all this year. So yeah, man, the new bike has been solid.
Thank you.
Grace with Speed Sport.
Thanks, Daniel. Grace Holbing with Speed Sport. This one's also for Eli. Kind of in the same vein, just with the new bike, with the team, and your performance these last couple races. With this momentum going your way, just how important is it to kind of keep hold of that and keep it going to next weekend?
Well, I can just say it's just a great start for us. You never know going into a season with a new platform, and you honestly never know. So like I said, we happen to get it right this time.
Jim Kimball, again for Cooper Webb. Cooper, I remember that during that race, it was kind of near the end of the race, and you caught up to Eli pretty good. And I don't know if that maybe Eli made a mistake, or you were kind of doing one of your patented, late race surges. But do you remember that and what was going on then?
Yeah, I think like you said, he missed one rhythm due to a lapper, and I think that helped a lot. And then that was like 2 to go, and he definitely dropped the hammer there. And I think, like you said, I was able to get close, but it's tough, like you said, when we're both racing hard, and those guys are in a battle, and they might not move for the leader, and then one lap they might do different lines and stuff. So it's tough, but you know, it's almost like a battle within a battle. You got to race them as well as racing ahead and staying with them. So yeah, but felt good. I mean, raced hard all the way to the end, and felt like I definitely, you know, pushed hard more towards at the end instead of maybe in the middle where I should have.
Michael Lindsay, Vitalmex. Question is also for Cooper Webb. Cooper, after being able to stay behind Eli, stay fairly close to him through the race, what are your takeaways that you can work on after tonight's race that would allow you to be a little bit more in that battle and could have allowed you to maybe close the gap and make a rebound at him?
Yeah, I think, like I said, at the beginning he had this really good lines and those more loose turns, I'd say. Like the track all day, it started in practice was a lot of ruts, and I think that typically suits my style a little bit more to where, you know, when it gets a bit more loose and you can kind of break, and that's definitely where Eli excels, you know, in those corners. So it was a mix of both, but I think just a few of those turns, like I said, I was really good in the tight stuff, good in the rutted corners, but the loose ones, I seemed to just be a little too hesitant. And but like I said, at the middle, I just made a few mistakes that cost me that little bit of chunk. And then we were playing cat and mouse, but he had, you know, a good enough lead to really not feel like I'm all over him for sure. So yeah, it was a good race.
Josh Mosman from Motocross Action. Coop, you had a big one, middle of the race, kicker on the north side of the stadium. Can you talk a little bit of just how the track developed, what was challenging about the main event tonight compared to Anaheim 1 where we saw just crazy conditions, and then also talk about resetting after a moment like that. I mean, Supercross is one of the gnarliest sports in the world because you guys have gnarly moments like that where you save yourself from season-impacting injuries, and that happens to everybody. It happened to a lot of guys through the whoops tonight. So can you talk about overcoming that and then track conditions?
Yeah, it was the 2-3-2 there before the triple. It was the same line I'd been hitting all night, and I think it just maybe that there was a kind of a rock in it, and I think I just dragged peg or something, and it sent me almost over the bars. So like you said, that was definitely a puckering moment, but I think at that point I was just like, you can't think about it. You know, I was trying to get a win. So you're going to push the limits and have some mistakes. But, yeah, I think the track developed pretty much the same all day, to be honest. Like the outside started off good, and then you just kind of go down, down, down. And but it was a track where I think it was important just to do smooth but intense laps. Like you could, if you tried to slow up or get in a flow, you almost would maybe go too slow for how you could really push the track. And the whoops were tricky. You know, they weren't like the most difficult set, but just super edgy and kind of got V'd out. And no matter where you went, it was pretty tough. So, yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty interesting track for sure. And but it broke down, you know, maybe obviously not as bad as last week, but not as bad as most mains, I'd say.
Eli, I believe you're a couple wins away from tying Ricky Carmichael for all-time third. Championships to goal. When do the records start creeping in your mind? Where do they fall in importance?
Well, I guess it's if I get there. So that's it. I don't want to think about that at all. I said that last week, man. I don't want to really think about that. Just try to attack each track each weekend.
Stefan, TheBigUSA.com. That's a question for Justin. Justin, you've been working with Eric Sorby since the beginning of the season. How does it help you with your program?
Yeah, I love Sorby. We go way back. Probably my first year at Paris Supercross, which, I don't know, maybe 2010. So, yeah, we've always been friends, kept in touch. He moved over here to U.S. The end of 22, and yeah, I was just able to start working with Eric again, and we're just good friends, and it's good to have him around, just riding coach. He's really good at spotting lines. He was obviously a great racer. Was with James for a long time, so he has a lot of knowledge. Yeah, and I have a trainer back in Tallahassee that I'm working with new this year as well, off the bike. So yeah, my fitness feels really good. I'm stoked on it. We had a great boot camp off season. Sorby's awesome. We brought our baby boy into the world. Life's good. Yeah, I'm super happy, and the team's great. And yeah, I'm pumped, and it's definitely great to have Sorby around. Though he's a great guy, just a good vibe. You know, you want someone who's happy at race day, and he brings that. So that's rad for me.
Jason from RacerX. For you, Justin, round one doesn't go the way you want, and then you don't have time, or you have too much time almost to think about it because we had an extra weekend off. How do you avoid chasing your tail and going too far the wrong direction and instead just starting over again?
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I did at Anaheim was after the first practice, I chased my tail all the way up until the heat race. And then I said, let's put the bike back to base. And that's when it was best. So that was good because then I just went and rode all week, a few tweaks here or there. Bike's been really good. I don't know. It was just that first race, kind of you go crazy a little. And it was like a rookie mistake. I wish I didn't do that. But all in all, got out of there healthy, which was good because I did have that one crash could have been pretty good. So yeah, got out of it safe and then just went and yeah, we rode. I was definitely had a lot of motivation coming into here just because, you know, I said, you know, I'm bringing a good program into the season and feeling really good, want to be consistent, and then have that first race, which was kind of a bummer. But all in all, to regroup tonight felt really good, and yeah, had good speed. And the biggest thing this season, I would like to qualify a little bit better. I think qualified 10th today. So yeah, I'd like to be like top 5. That'd be cool. But, you know, I was stoked on 10th, to be honest, because I don't really qualify that good. I don't know why. But, yeah, well, we're going to keep going after those qualifying times for a good gate pick.
Nick, Moto Online, sorry. Cooper Webb, same sort of question directed at you. How do you attack the off week? You know, do you think about heading east to go home to try and find some dry tracks? How was it? What did it look like for you?
Yeah, no, we stayed out here and just fought the weather a little bit and rode as much as you could. It was honestly kind of a bummer, obviously, I get it, but it was like, man, we just started the season, you get excited and you want to go racing, and it's like, I was bored as hell all weekend. So, yeah, it was good to just get back to racing, and like Eli said, it was just really chasing the weather, driving all over to find tracks. But, yeah, we stick to the program and nothing too crazy.
Michael Antonovich with Swap Moto Life. Cooper, for you, we're talking about the new bike, watching you tonight. You're really throwing it around a lot, even off that triple down at the end zone, nose it in. Cutting it down, how does it feel with these real soft tracks that we've had as we get ready for the East Coast swing that's already coming up, soft tracks coming, Texas, Florida, things like that?
Yeah, I think it seems to be working really well, especially today with it being a bit tighter. It seemed to really suit my style well. And I think for me, the biggest thing was even the whoops all night. I felt super solid, and I wasn't losing time there, which was key. So, yeah, I feel good with it. You know, turnings well. I'm able to really push the rhythms hard and ride like myself, which I think is critical. So I know I said it last week, but we've changed everything on it, and it seems to be working really well.
Coop, a quick follow-up question. Justin mentioned qualifying better today. You were after it early. Is that like a mentality shift with you, or is it just comfort that's leading to that? I mean, kind of take me through the qualifying because it was noticeably different.
Yeah, I had a good feeling all day. I mean, even from first practice, you know, just gelled with the track. It was I think you have those days where you do a track walk and you're like, hey, this is my kind of style. And qualifying went really well and felt like I was doing really solid laps, which is, you know, typically not my thing. I qualified okay at A1, but today was definitely a lot better. And yeah, I don't know. I think I just gelled with the track today well.
David Iser.
Thanks, Daniel. Justin, did you talk to Jason after that heat race incident? And did the tweet heard around the world? There's going to be more than one question in the press conference about this. Do you have a response to that other than sitting on the box for tonight?
Oh, what was it? Something was said? I don't know.
Do you have a Twitter?
Do I have Twitter?
Do you have Twitter?
Yeah.
You haven't been on it yet?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but no, I don't know what the story is. Honestly, it's really, it's not very much fun, but yeah, after the race, I thought he like kind of stopped and like waved me over, and I was like, he's going to say, oh, like, that was good racing, like, good, like, you know, sorry that you went down. But no, that was the opposite of what happened. I was kind of like, oh, okay. that's how it is going to be. And then, yeah, in the tunnel, he was like fighting with my mechanic and stuff. I just, I feel like I've tried to mature a bit, and I'm just not going to get into that. So, yeah, all good. Not sweating it.
They actually put the tweet up on the air tonight. He said you were complaining and that you shouldn't complain, and he called you a bitch in the tweet.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised that I didn't complain at all. He called me over and started like calling me, all kinds of profanity, and I was just like, all right. And then, yeah, the AMA came over to the truck and asked what happened, and I said, yeah, he just called me over and was, cussing me out. And I'm like, all right. And then, yeah, it was random. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't say anything, so I don't know. It's just odd. But no, I'm not going to get into a Twitter fight, and it's silly. Honestly, it's just silly. And yeah, I didn't have a problem with the pass. Like I said, me and Chase, the same pass happened with us, and obviously I didn't want that to happen. I think obviously Jason wanted that to happen, but like I said, no big deal, no hard feelings. If he wants to curse at me, that's fine. I can handle it. I have pretty thick skin, I feel like, but yeah, move on from it and let's go racing. It's a long season, and yeah, I don't feel like I need to pay him back or anything, but I race hard, so let's go.
Yeah, that's probably the least you've been called. If you would have raced clean if you caught him in the main. You had no grudge. You thought the pass, everything was good between you guys.
I was not gonna do anything stupid. I'm trying to, make up for that first round race that wasn't so good. Just trying to make up points, and I want to have good racing all year with these guys. And like right now, he's sitting here. I told Ollie, crew chief, I was like, hey, if you see Chase, like, tell him I wanted to go talk to him. I want like a man, because I like Chase. We're good friends. Well, I feel like anyway. So it was a bummer that we came together. But yeah, no, it's I wasn't gonna put any retaliation after it was a solid pass. It was a bummer I went down. Obviously, I was not happy, but I wasn't gonna go up to him and fight or do anything stupid.
All right, thanks for the honest answer, Barn.
Yeah, no worries.
You haven't seen Chase's tweet yet?
Oh, yeah, stop. No, he's pretty professional. Yeah, he's professional.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you at the Triple Crown in Anaheim. Triple Crown in Anaheim. Probably. Not like this second, but I'm good. Probably that pink one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You did? You do? Get that donut.
Some guys are pink. It's like pink. Most do.
All right. 250 class from San Diego, Snapdragon Stadium. Congratulations. Jet Lawrence, RJ Hampshire, Cameron McAdoo. Back-to-back podiums. Same order. Congrats, guys. Jet, your starts. Really, really good. The first heat race in Anaheim we saw, you talked about on the podium, had a little bit of a mix-up there, but since then they've been really good, even in qualifying. Is it a change? Is it just everything coming together? The bike, they're becoming automatic. So just kind of take me through where you are at with the starts, because they've been great.
Yeah, no, starts been pretty good. It could be just late luck, but no, they've been going good. Like, I was surprised myself, because I didn't practice any starts in between the 2 weeks. Just because there was always, every track we went to was like muddy and rainy and that stuff. So it was a bit hard to try and do starts all this the past 2 weeks. But no, I think they've just been clicking. The bike's feeling awesome and tracking and driving and that stuff. So hopefully we can keep it going. There's obviously going to be one start where it doesn't go as to plan, but we'll make sure we try and keep that out, not have one of those. So we'll wait and see.
Ryan, it's Cycle News. My question's for RJ. You had a big gap to Cameron, but you set back-to-back fastest laps of the race on lap 13 and 14. What were you doing to make up such a big deficit, and how are you staying focused?
The beginning laps weren't that great for me. Once I got into third, Cam actually pulled me a little bit. And, I had a rough week. So, I was honestly kind of like, okay, third's what I got tonight. And then, I started clicking them off, and I started hitting that outside after the long rhythm, and was able to kind of push through 2-3-2 and was making up time. And I seen the gap kind of closing up a little bit. He ran into a couple lappers, and I had a couple of mistakes, I just was able to click them off. I haven't been able to do that much, so to have back-to-back races where I kind of can close the deal late in those motos, it's huge for myself and kind of our whole program.
Jason Weigand for RacerX. Well, now I got to ask, RJ, why do you have a long week?
Man, I smacked my head hard on Thursday, I believe it was. We went to Hemet, and yeah, I honestly deserved it because we didn't want to be there, and I just had that bad attitude, and yeah, just stupid mistake in the whoops, and yeah, I had a good one. Smacked my head, did not feel good. Went seen G Thursday, Friday. Yeah, and I mean, I didn't really know necessarily how I was going to feel tonight. Woke up this morning, sore throat again, just to add to it. So yeah, one of my tougher weeks, but heck, did not show there in that main event, and I was pretty stoked on that to turn it around.
Was this Thursday, Friday this week, or before what would have been Oakland?
No, yeah, this was this week. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not 100%. No, it was Wednesday. So, yeah, Wednesday I smacked my head pretty good. So, rode Tuesday up at the high desert, found a track Wednesday to ride, and, yeah, deserved it. And kind of humbled me a little bit again. And just to say this week I won't be jacking around and have a good attitude and put in my laps, and hopefully we can stay off the ground.
Jamie, Vital MX. Cameron, a couple weeks in a row now where RJ's caught you late. I know it's pretty disappointing. What do you need to work on? Is there still some setup things that you're working on? What are you looking for?
I don't think so much setup. Like he said, I got into some lappers and I didn't navigate them very well. And he closed quite a bit up on me there. And then I made a couple pretty big mistakes that costed me a lot of time in a couple rhythms. And that was really where he got up to my back wheel. So, yeah, just eliminating those little moments that end up being big for me. It was frustrating to lose that with a lap and a half or 2 laps to go. But, yeah, he's riding really well, so is Jet. So I just got to do better.
Cameron, quick follow-up question. We talked on the podium about being on the podium and how at some point in your career you're chasing it and it's huge. And then you get to the point now where you do it all the time and you're not satisfied by that. What's that like just as a racer, especially you and your story and your transition to the front now, where a podium is can be frustrating? You know, I think that's hard for a lot of people to understand, but you've been up here a lot now and I know you want more. So can you kind of take us through that a little further?
I think it's all perspective for me. Like, obviously, the way my career went, I would dream of being in here a few years ago, like you said. And once you work towards it and you get it multiple times, then the expectation becomes winning. And once you win a couple times, then third isn't where your expectation is. And then especially getting past late in the race, that's a tough one for me. So it's pretty hard to accept. And like I said, I need to do better.
Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. This one's for Jet. The end result is the same, obviously, from the opening round for you with the main event win. But today appeared to go smoother in general. How would you compare the 2 rounds so far for you? And you're pretty much flawless today.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Anaheim was the track was just very very unpredictable. You didn't know what was going to happen no matter what, right? You could have taken a lap before, but it shot you different every time. Where this track from Anaheim was definitely a lot easier in my eyes, and everything was fairly easy to get. And at the start there, it was obviously a lot trickier because of deep ruts in that, and it was hard. But once you got close to the main, those turns got a little bit harder in that. But yeah, I think this weekend, I think I just was able to go a little bit more my speed. That's comfortable, a little bit of that faster speed, where Anaheim was kind of more like this trail riding almost. You just were trying to make it through the rhythms, through everything. And I think a lot of the RJ and Cameron can also say the same thing. I was just kind of making it through Anaheim with those curves in the up ramps and into some of the berms. So I mean, I feel like that one was we played it very smart. And then this weekend we were able to do our normal speed, which was a big difference. But I mean, I had a blast kind of going back at normal speed and with some of those rhythms.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action. This is for RJ. RJ, in the heat race, it was red flagged, while you were leading. How did the red flag affect you mentally, or did it give you a couple of minutes to have a drink of water or whatever? And then I guess I don't understand the rules, because I would have assumed you would have had the first position. I guess, can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I don't understand what happened and how I got moved back to second, but then the same time stayed on. They said they were going back to what we finished the second lap on when the guy crashed. But I don't get that, because then we did a whole another lap, plus the next lap was the red flag. So they moved me back to second, but left the same time on the clock, which I came around first lap, and when I hit the finish, I looked up and there was only a minute and 20 seconds left or whatever, which I don't know the ruling on that, or I don't know if that was correct or what the deal was.
Is that kind of good to have maybe it's a dumb question, to have a couple of minute break and get
No, it's terrible.
Michael Antonovich with Swap Moto Live. Jet, for you, we've been in this class for a while. You've been on this bike for a while. It's made some improvements and some advancements and some part changes, but now that you're a couple years into this and things are just kind of going the way that they're going, how is it for you to not just think like, all right, it's going to go this way, and not kind of let your guard down a bit?
Man, you made me feel real old with that one. No, it's, I mean, that's the biggest thing with racing. It's never, each year is never the same. It's always different. And now, like, I feel like you're in one with the bike. I mean, last year we got the bike pretty good and kind of like looped all the way back around to the same setting, and had a few little part changes and that stuff, but nothing too major. And I think this kind of the biggest things is being calmer, and that stuff has helped me in this. And obviously the biggest main thing is putting myself in a good position to have a good chance at podium or winning. So I think that's the big thing. And come on, Leroy. Come on, mate. But yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. It's kind of losing all like the stuff you've learned and that stuff, and kind of just making sure you stay calm. Because as young Jet would have done, would just be trying to send it and try to set the world's fastest lap time for no reason. So now it's just kind of just playing the smarter route, and obviously just trying to make it through the night and just kind of gauge off of like some of the other boys' kind of body language and how they're trying to attack and see and stuff like that.
Jason from RacerX, yeah. When you get the lead, like you have the last 2 weeks, are we seeing like I'm going to try to get as big a gap as I can possibly get, or are you trying to manage it like as long as I keep him there or I inch away slightly, that's all I need to do?
It all kind of depends. So I didn't really get to see who was in second at the time, but I ended up hearing us Phil. So go him. But yeah, as a few laps went past, I could see Makita was there. So I'm like, obviously, it kind of all depends. Obviously, for the main guys and on this coast is obviously RJ and Cameron, and so it's always kind of like, okay, if you're bad start, that's the main guys I'm looking for, because those are guys that can do that. We all do the similar pace and that stuff. So it's always like, okay, where are they at on the track? Or so where this weekend I could see RJ was a little bit back on the start, but I mean, but Cameron was right there from the start. I think just behind Phil, and it's just kind of going off of what I see and what I see in those glimpses of how they are body attacking, and I'm pretty sure it stayed fairly the same, the gap for most of the time. I think when Cameron made those mistakes and those rhythms, I think that's when I maybe pulled a bit. But it kind of just depends on where I'm at on the track to really kind of put through how I'm going to do my race.
David Iser.
Thanks, Daniel. Cameron, you mentioned last at Anaheim that you tightened up during the race, and that cost you some positions toward the end in the timing. You were laying down some of the fastest laps tonight, but the same thing happened. Was it tightness again, or they're just the mental mistakes in the lappers?
Yeah, with 3 laps to go, a very similar thing happened. Like I said, I made a pretty big mistake, and I got super bad arm pump, if I'm honest. And arm pump's pretty foreign to me. I usually don't struggle with it at all, so it's a frustrating thing. But again, it's on me. Like I made a mistake, and that's where it's coming from. So yeah, like I just need to execute, better and hit every mark every time and eliminate those things because everyone's riding really well.
Is that in your head now, the arm pump thing, since you've never had that before? Now it's crept up 2 races in a row?
No, I don't think so. It's just I know what's causing it. I know what's happened. Like tonight, I clipped the top of a tabletop going over, and it like sent me forward, and it was like a whole moment, So like it's very obvious when it happens. It's not like I'm just getting pumped up, throughout the day or anything. So it's just I need to eliminate those mistakes.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
RJ, in the past, you've had a little bit of a reputation for a guy that could podium speed or crash. We've talked about that, and you said you need to work on that. So far this year, it seems like you have kind of figured that out. Has there been something specific that you've worked on to overcome that?
To be honest with you, it's a lot to do with my confidence in what I'm racing on. You're going to try to ride a bike harder that should not be rode that hard, or try to get to that speed. And yeah, last year we didn't have that bike that we could go out there and do that. And maybe in the years past, I haven't been confident in that. And I made it pretty vocal even coming into this year that these guys, they did a lot for me, and I'm just stoked that it's actually showing on the weekend. Like, yeah, I put my balls out there quite a bit. So just to back it up 2 weekends in a row, it's huge for myself and huge for this whole Austrian brand.
One more question, I guess. What have you figured out with the bike? What have you changed that has made those improvements? This chassis stuff, suspension, all the above?
Man, it's so much, and it's the same with Coop. Like, you can tell with him, he's a different rider also. And Malcolm, I mean, I don't think we've had this strong of a team in a while. Today was looking awesome for both of us. Engine, we did a full-on reboot on that, and we also have more stuff coming for outdoors, which I'm pretty stoked on. Bringing Hansen over was huge. Also, we got a really good base, and I'm not. They kind of stopped telling me exactly on what all they have, just because I'm super kind of. I want to know about everything. Like I'll know what Coop's on, or I'll know what whoever else is on my bike is on, and that's just how I am, and I want to know how that works, or what's better with that than mine, and what I feel. I ride the bike super different than my teammate or anyone else on that 250. So there's still some things that can be better, and my starts for sure are one of them. That main event start I can't keep doing that and come from the back like that. So I talked with Tony already, our crew chief, and we're going to go to work this week and try to figure this out, and hopefully we can battle with Jet and Cam a bit more.
This is a question for all three of you. Jet, I'll start with you. Snapdragon, new stadium, a lot of history on this land with Qualcomm, but this is all new, and it's a sellout crowd tonight, and fans were into it. What's it feel like for you guys, all three of you, to come into a new place like this where there's a lot of energy, and it's fun for the fans, fun for all of us to figure out a new floor plan and new track? I know, Jet, you're still new to a lot of these places, especially in the West. You missed a couple of years on the East. But what's it like coming into a place like this with this kind of energy, sold-out crowd, somewhere new?
It's pretty cool. On the way here when we're driving, obviously Osho was in the car. He was talking about how times he raced here, and Ricky also. And I was talking with RV, and he was saying, like, yeah, he never got to race at, like, Petco or anything. He raced here, and said he was retired in 2014. And I think the year after, he said it changed to Petco. So it's kind of cool, the history that's been has been placed here. I had no idea. So that's the funny thing. I'm all learning this morning with Osho with a history lesson. So it's cool, and the crowd was sick today. They were awesome, and just having that kind of new stadium feeling, I felt like was something new, but also pretty sick.
RJ, same to you, but I'll add this. You've only raced the West once, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll take it one step further. Just being back on the West in general and racing baseball stadium in Anaheim, Oakland coming, and then being in San Diego, open roofs, is different for you?
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I've been kind of someone that hates being out here and spending time out in California. And all we did was change kind of where I'm staying at now. And I spent the whole month out here with my family, and man, we're honestly enjoying it. Like, we enjoy where we're at right now, and I think that kind of leads into the weekend. And coming down here, like, I even got to stay at my Airbnb last night again, which is huge, just to have that little bit more comfort than staying at a hotel. I think the track was really well, and for how much rain this place has taken the last few weeks, track crew did an awesome job, and yeah, the stadium was sweet. I think it was cool for the fans, and our whole pit setup out there was much better, I feel like, here than Petco. And yeah, hopefully we can come back. Cameron?
Yeah, like alluding to the pit setup, that's honestly the biggest thing. I've raced at Petco twice, and it's pretty hectic to get all the way across to the stadium. But Petco was also a really cool stadium. But coming in here today, this was the first time I've ever even seen this stadium. Like, I just had to get navigation here, and coming in, the stadium is really fresh feeling. Like, even, you know, the parking lot, everything is really nice here, and the dirt was good. I think it seemed like they changed the dirt. It didn't feel like the same dirt that we raced on at Petco the last time I raced there. But yeah, the whole place just feels clean, fresh, new. I really enjoyed it, and the fans were really good tonight.
Josh Mosman from Motocross Action. Jet, congratulations. Impressive ride. But this one I actually want to tailor towards the two guys to your left and right. RJ, you were playing baseball in high school quite a bit, right? And didn't have a factory ride through the amateur ranks. Cameron didn't have a factory ride through the amateur ranks. And, you know, lost a ride at one point and was looking for a ride. So congratulations to both of you guys for keeping up with this guy in the middle who's riding exceptional. I just want to say that, congratulations, and to keep your spirits up. You guys both put on a strong fight. And Cameron, can you talk a little bit about just what it's like to be even catching Jet at the beginning of the race and running that pace? And basically, my advice is just don't get too hard on yourself, because you guys did awesome. All three of you guys rode amazing out there.
Well, I appreciate it, first off. But yeah, it was good. Like, it was confidence inspiring at the beginning. And yeah, like, we all work so hard, you know, all three of us, and multiple other guys that are out there racing with us. So when it doesn't go how you would like it to go, or, you know, maybe what your plan is when things are going well in the beginning, it's easy to get frustrated. But I'm not going to be down on myself, you know. We'll go back to the shop. We're going to watch film Monday. We're going to ride this week just like everyone, and we're going to work forward. But yeah, I'm grateful, and I feel blessed to even be in here right now and not driving home.
Yeah, same thing to you, RJ. I mean, congratulations. You're a podium guy. All three of you guys are representing brands that are very proud of you guys to be up here on the podium after the night. Yeah, we'll like, what's going through your mind as well?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And you know, we have respect for all the guys out there, you know, no doubt. And Cam and I both have a lot of respect for each other for, I think, multiple reasons. And we've been through a lot. Like, I mean, we're late in our career now, and we've seen a lot. We've been teammates before, and like, we're going to race each other hard, but you're not going to expect anything crazy, and I don't expect anything crazy from him also. And I feel like both weekends, like, we raced hard, but it was clean. Same with Jet. I mean, he's new to it, and I don't think he's been through as much as us, and he's good. I mean, that's all you can say. He's talented, and he's been able to knock it off. And it's cool to be up here with Cam and be battling for podiums every weekend. Like, I don't think either of us have been this close to, you know, the lead 2 weekends in a row. So, man, hopefully we can stay in it, and hopefully have some good battles.
Jet, first Triple Crown of the year. Really cool for the fans. I think the fans really enjoy it as a rider, and not always so much. But what do you think, man? How do you feel about Triple Crowns?
We're just waiting to get there, man. You know how the Triple Crowns have been lately. No, we're looking forward to them. Those ones are always exciting because you have the short break in between. It kind of breaks up that rhythm a bit. But no, we're looking forward to it. Back to Anaheim 2, and kind of just going to go in with an open mind.
Cam, what about you? Just a little bit of different format. It changes things up. I know that it's more starts, and that's, as we see the last couple of weeks, the main events, starts are pretty gnarly. But what do you think about it?
I won the Triple Crown last year, so I'm stoked. No, it's still fairly long racing. I think we have 3 10-minute races. So It is a lot of racing. Obviously, the starts are key. Like, you see a lot happens in the last 5 minutes plus one lap of the main event. So, like you said, like, I think the biggest key is get a good start and, you know, stay out of any drama, because 3 times lining us all back up together, things are bound to happen. So I'm excited to go racing next weekend, though. It's fun. I think it's a really cool format for the fans, especially. Like, you know, towards the end of the mains, and especially the 450 main, it gets pretty spread out. They get to see everyone go at it 6 times. So it's cool.
One more, sorry. Opening ceremonies. 250s have been in opening ceremonies this year. It's really cool, I think, for the fans. Again, Jet, I mean, you're a superstar. RJ, you've been in the sport a long time. Cam, you've come up and coming guy, all superstars. I think it's really cool for the fans to get a chance to see you guys out there with the lights. You're in there, you know, high-fiving the crowd. That's pretty cool. What do you guys think about it? Just any one of you.
I thought it was pretty cool. I actually found out that I was in opening ceremonies on track walk this morning, and I was like, got back, I'm like, guys, what's the deal with this opening ceremonies? And we didn't even know what, I was like, what time do I need to be up there? Like, I didn't know what was going on, but I think it's really cool that, you know, obviously we're racing at a super high level too, and I think the fans enjoy it. It's great for our brand, our press, you know, just everything. It's cool to be able to get out there, and yeah, it's a good addition for us.
Yeah, and I think Lucas and Jet had a lot to do with that, which is it's good for us. It's something you look forward to, going to that 450 class, and you know we're at the top of our game right now in this 250 class, and I think we bring a lot of excitement. So it's cool to be part of it, and yeah, I think the fans enjoyed it also.
Yeah, to go off the top of that, I think the one best thing about that is that the 450 guys, like, I mean, they have like all respect and they obviously deserve and that stuff. They get to the open ceremony, but I feel like the past few years, the 250 kind of gets downgraded to like not as gnarly just because it's not 450. But I mean, we're out there doing, I mean, tonight I'm pretty sure we're doing similar lap times to the 450 guys and doing the exact same rhythms and that stuff. So I feel like with that, it kind of brings us up, and obviously they get to see our face a bit more, like top 3 guys going at it. And I feels like it gets a better connection from the fans to the riders, which it helps our sport a lot. I feel like it's that more one-on-one kind of touch, like, kind of get the more like all the RJ fans going to get more pumped. They have to see him before these races. Same with Cam and I think it just builds up the 250 bit just to actually show, like, kind of give us some more limelight than always just the 450 kind of being the main one.
Congratulations, guys. See you at the Triple Crown in Anaheim.
Thank you.